What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at round 2 of the Risk FFA World Championship Season 2. It was an extremely long game, went early into the morning. It was somewhere around 6 hours long. Lots of take a card and pass type of stuff happening, as you would expect in any Caps game. So I'm going to spare you all that and just kind of jump through to some of the more action-packed moments and just kind of give you a breakdown of what happened. So to start off here, I'm seeing, a potential cap spot here or here, and I'm thinking, this one right here looks decent because, I got 2 more troops or whatever, but, it's only accessible to 3 spots, and I'm not sure who's over here in this area and who's up in here or around here. I'm assuming that nobody is going to cap in here because there's no access. I'm assuming they're better than they are, or I'm assuming that they're good players. And there might be somebody potentially here and somebody potentially here. So I'm just, trying to be conscious of that stuff and make sure that I don't get myself locked in. So ultimately we decided to go here. So we have, and I think this is the best spot because we have black behind us. We have a kill guard there. We have yellow also behind us, and somebody else could be here. So we could potentially have 3 kill guards. We have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different locations for taking cards. So it's not easy to block us. Obviously we can because we got a cap up here, we got a cap here. So it is, there is potential to get us blocked here, but we're not as easy to be blocked as some of these other players, I feel like. So we know we got a cap here, and we have these caps here, and we don't know what's over here yet. Over here, and I'm assuming nobody capped over there. So the other thing I'm looking at here is in the beginning of the game, I want to make sure that I'm not easily killable. So I have a location here. I have this spot here that I would like to trade with yellow in. Obviously I have my cap and I have this external piece that I want to keep alive. I'm having trouble getting this out of here right now, and I'm hoping that red doesn't decide that he wants this bonus and just smack it, which he could. I do ultimately decide to invest a little bit more there just to let him know that I do want this to stay alive, and I feel like that's worth it. I also will realize later on in the game, and you'll see that this is a really important spot for me because I cannot get over here without this. And as you can see, yellow and me become the best of friends in the beginning. We're going to set up a nice little card trading spot here for us. We can guarantee that we have cards. And I do believe that the black player, the red player are masters, and then everybody else is grandmasters. I think actually white might be master as well. We're blacked out from the left side of the board, so we don't really know what's going on over there. We know there's some attacks and some trading. We see the little revenge thing come up. So I'm assuming that over here, someone realizes that their cap is going to get stuck, so they got to take that cap. So they're probably hitting them early on. And it looks like blue is attacking white. Black still starts his turn with just the 5 troops. And we do see that red gets an additional 2 troops, so he probably has this. So we're still going to trade with yellow up in here. We're not quite at the point where we want to dive into this and giving yellow the signal that we still want to be good friends. It's like he accepts. I did want him to go here so I can attack with this. I mean, he sees I got this here. It's fine. I'll just put the 3 troops there. It's not a big deal. Just give you an idea of all the bonuses. We got a 6, a 6, a 2. Looks like a 3, 4, 3, 2, a 5, another 6. So this is a progressive game, so the bonuses are not super important. So I'm not worried about getting any bonuses. It seems like it's super valuable to get the 5 troops in the beginning. It does give you a little bit of advantage. These 2 probably have a bonus. Nobody else does, so it's not a big deal. But we're playing a caps game. These sets are going to get in the thousands, so as long as we can stay alive, we're totally fine in these first 10 turns or so when the cards start getting traded in. Here I'm thinking he might clear me out. I'd take a look at his thing here just to see what kind of player he is. He's a master. He ultimately decides not to do that. And we decide that we're going to take a bonus early on and see if we can hold it. And we did that just because, you know, black has a bonus, blue has a bonus, red has a bonus. Yellow could just take me out of here and take that bonus. So we want to make sure that we're in a level playing field here, at least in the beginning. If they took me out of this up here, honestly, I really wouldn't care. Not a big deal. I would just want this position to stay alive. The only thing that I would want. And I'm totally expecting to lose this and maybe lose these and this. And I would like to get down to 2 positions eventually. They want to trade somewhere in here with 1 person, but everybody started putting troops in here, so that was a little bit confusing. That started happening. This is what it is. And you'll notice too, when we start going along, you'll see on blue and white's turns, there's quite a bit of attacking going on. And I know that red's probably trading in here somewhere, so we know red's got some material in here. I don't think he has much in here. I think what is happening is he has this spot, maybe another spot over here, maybe something down here, maybe in here, and that white is holding on to this at this point, and blue is holding on to this. So blue attacks up this way, and we can't really see what's going on. These 3 guys are all fighting for the left side of the board. We know that. Yellow and I are just kind of staying on a bit. We do see a piece of red up here. We do want to make sure that he knows that we want to keep this position alive. And red goes for the kill on white. So now I see he's got 43 troops here. He's got a 7 up here. I know what's over here on the right side of the board. I don't know what's here, here, and here, over here, right? We've never seen any of this stuff. So we've got no idea exactly where he's at. So I got some decisions to make. So I do decide to set in early, and I think about going for this kill. I do put a little bit of stuff up here to see if I can, if this, maybe it's just this 1 spot, maybe a couple 1s or something. And you know, I started thinking about whether or not I have what it's, you know, I know I got him covered. I'm just not sure if I have the time to take him out. And I certainly do if I would have known, but this scares me and this scares me. And I see this 40 cap and I look at my time and I start getting nervous, and ultimately we decide not to go for it. I am glad that I did not go for this. You know, I was beating myself up at first and was thinking, and I should have whacked red out of this game, because I could have went down here and I would have had visibility over here. I could have taken out black and seen that red does have a piece in here. But here's what I'm giving up. I'm giving up kill guards on black. I'm losing mobility this way, and leaving myself with just this pocket to take cards in if I lose these external positions, which could happen at any point because now the sets are coming in. And as you can see here, I go down, take a look around, and I am very happy to see that I did not take that 20 stack through here, because he did have 2 bigger stacks and he was holding this bonus down here. So there was no way I was going to be able to kill him with the prediction of the troops that I had. I could have put more up here and maybe taken this out, but I mean, who knows? I didn't want to sacrifice the powerful position that I have here. I know I'm getting the kill on one of these 2, on yellow or black. It's going to be very difficult for them to take me out before I take them out, and I have really good mobility right now and I don't want to lose that. I have, you know, a couple card trading, you know, positions available for me up here and over here to the right, so I'm going to keep those going for now. I do decide to take out the left side of the board just because I want to know what's over here and just basically own the left side of the board. There's no reason for holding this bonus. This was just kind of a flex. I didn't really need to hold this. I didn't need the troops or anything because now the sets are starting to come in. But I did want to make sure I knew what was on the left and on the right. And now the only thing that we don't know is here, here, and in here. We know this is all black. We know this is all yellow. This is, you know, black. He took us out of there. We just know that in here we have blue and red filling up this whole space, and we can go based on the troops that blue has this bonus. Red's probably still here and probably has a cap here. We do get to hold this left side bonus for a few turns, which helps us out. And then we were able to hold this bonus up here in the few turns prior. So that kind of set us ahead. I'm imagining I'm probably like 30 troops ahead of everybody right now, you know, with the sets coming in and everything, even though I'm the third in position and these guys are below me. So I'm probably somewhere around 20 or 30 troops ahead of everybody at this point. And these guys do end up letting me hold this left side bonus for, I don't know, 3 or 4 turns, something like that. I think I'm wondering if I wanted to go take a poke around black. Yeah, instead of take a look, and he is much bigger than me. So it looks like yellow still wants to trade with me over here, which is cool. We can keep trading there. That's totally fine with me. And then eventually we can trade it here. I do know this player. He's a really good player. So I know that I do, as long as it's in his benefit, I have a good place to trade cards with him inside here. Black decides to take me out of the right side of the board. He wants visibility, wants to know what's going on, whatever. He does start to lock himself up though. So this is what he didn't realize at first, is by doing that, he now has this spot he needs to take care of and this cap, because there's a cap here, right? So he will eventually run out of cards here, and then he needs to make sure he takes this out up here. So this is in danger up here, and I know that. I don't want to give up my mobility just yet, and I don't want to. We do end up having to take a card here on the next round, so we do that, and we find out that red did have that stack down there that we were talking about. And on yellow's turn, you know, as predicted, he does end up taking out red out of this position. They both don't want to be in here, so I think he knows that I'm a reasonable player, and as long as you don't go fooling around on me, I'm not going to mess around on you, and I'll just, you know, we could trade cards and be cool. So I'm taking a look around. I don't expect this to get hit. You'll see that it does. I expect this to get taken out by black because he's on 5 cards. He's stuck, right? He might have a card in here, which he does end up taking, but after that, he's gonna be stuck over here. We see some emojis happening, and then we do see a bunch of attacks back and forth between these two players, between red and blue on their turns. So that makes me wonder if I need to go take a look around. We decide we're gonna strengthen this position over here and hide a stack of 100 troops or so, and just keep building this up along with my cap. We take our card over here. So we realize that we're under threat from the blue player coming down here and saying that he wants the left side of the board. I think he just wants, you know, mobility or whatever. You'll see eventually he does some weird stuff where he just, you know, takes his troops and puts them into my big stack over here. Put like 10 troops into it, 25 troops, and then, you know, he starts putting his sets into it. That's coming up here pretty soon. And I'm not really sure why he did that, other than he wanted this bonus for some reason. And was, you know, maybe he was thinking about like, he's never going to get a card block on me or no one else's as long as I have the stack here. And that's probably why I have this stack here, which is reasonable. I just don't know if I would have wasted my troops on this, but he decided to do that. So now black ends up getting card blocked and yellow tries to go for the kill. And then yellow gives me the well played because he knows that I have him covered. And on my next turn, I take the black kill. So we get a bounty and we get to set up, save our joker, and we trade in the horses. So we do invest some more troops over here. We put this up to 300, I believe. And we put the rest back on cap. Now what I'm starting to think here is, I know this is under threat. I kind of want to make it bigger than what the sets are, so that way he doesn't set in and take it. And that pays off for a while, but you'll see what happens. He eventually kind of goes crazy. So we end up in kind of a stalemate position here. I realized that my cap is really strong because I have this kill guard here and I still have access both ways. So as long as, you know, these guys, one of these guys take each other out, the blue and the red player. Blue does not have really good access to me. So if he ends up going north, he's going to run into yellow and they're going to have a war. He's going to try and block him. He's going to realize that me and yellow are trading cards, and eventually yellow might try to hit him back. So all I have to do is wait that out to take out yellow. That's what I'm thinking. And this is just us, you know, basically card trading for turns and turns and turns on end. This goes on for probably 2 hours or so. And then you saw blue there. He threw a stack of 25 into me for no reason. He does that several times. I think he's trying to tell me he wants me out of there. I have nowhere to go. It's, you know, this map is really restricted, and I'm sure he still has a stack there. So I don't know what he wants me to do, but I just decided to ignore it and just keep building up my forces there. You'll see that red starts doing something really strange where he starts kind of back stacking troops over here. So I just roll it down. It's kind of like free troops, I feel like. So, you know, I do want him to know that this backstack here is not super favorable for me. I don't really care for it. If I ever need access that way and this gets too big, I'll be in trouble. So I want to keep this nice and small right here. So that way, if I ever do need a card there, I can take it. So blue takes his set of 420 and throws it into my 900 for some reason. If you watch this video, Crooked, maybe you can explain that to me. Actually, no, he puts 140 troops there. Is that what it is? Maybe it's 250, something like that. Goes in this 900. This made no sense to me. And he set it in early to do this one time. So I think it's coming up here, which forces me to set it early to save it. Then he sets in, you know, early again to do it. So kind of a crazy, strange series of events. I'm assuming it's because people were getting tired. You know, we're about 3 or 4 hours in the game now. So I'm on 3 cards. I'm thinking, like, do I set in and build this up? Because he's got to have at least 500 or 600 here, and he could just move that down on me. So I put 1,000 troops there. I think that's a valuable position. Could be the wrong play. I don't think my cap's in danger or anything. So I try to tell him, you know, like, hey, let's be friends and just leave this alone. We can trade here if you want. He decides to put 2,700 troops on it. So, you know, I get really confused, and, you know, it's starting to get really late. So I'm like, you know, if I could just take it. I do think that this is all of his troops or close to it. So I'm thinking maybe I should go through here and just take his cap. I won't be able to defend it. So, and I think my position's much better. So I decide not to do that. You know, this would have been just like a revenge play, and revenge plays don't always pan out to winning the game. I decide, you know what, I've made a mistake. I'm going to lose this. This player doesn't want me to have this position. So it is what it is. And we go back to just take a card and pass. Also, red and me are enemies, and yellow and me seem like we're cool. Blue, you know, obviously doesn't like me for some reason. I want to let him have it. I'm not gonna, you know, he loses 980 troops, whatever, do what you do. And then we have hours of take a card and passing. As you can see here, not a whole lot happens. I have 0 visibility. I got this one position. I'm just holding that strong, waiting for something to happen, someone to get tired. It seems like this is a game of endurance at this point. You know, I started screwing around, putting the stack back here, moving it out. I'm thinking maybe at some point I might be able to move in on this stack here and take this and stick it in there. Or if someone tries to hit me, they'll find out I have a bigger stack here and I can come hit him back. A couple options there. More or less, I'm just really tired and just playing with my troops a little bit. And then yellow decides to not give me a card. So it finally happens. I think he gets bored and decides I can't get a card. So what I'm thinking is we'll all just hit this. He's got 2 caps. This is probably the weaker one because this is the weaker position, right? I feel like, because this has a, you know, better access this way. So this is probably the smaller cap. So I'll just take that cap. Maybe there's like 2,000 troops on it. And that way I have, you know, 2 defendable positions here that are close to each other. We go to take a peek. Realize that's a big fat mistake. We go back and we will never ever get this position back to being open. We lose our right side access. Big time mistake. And I think he just wants to see what happens, see if I do get a card this way. That will tell him that this, or maybe, you know, I have another position over to the left somewhere. That will tell him if this is worth keeping me card blocked or not. I'm not going to take his 68 out of here yet, because I think that he will eventually realize that I'm not blocked and that this is not going to work and give up on it. And that it's more favorable for him to trade with me in here because we have the whole right side of the board together. And he knows, I think at this point, that these guys are not up in here anywhere. We do see that red has nothing on this cap here. So we're like, oh, well, what the fuck are we doing? Just take this. Well, I peel off 400 troops and I put the 600 to make 1,000 there. I figure that's good. You know, maybe he's got like 3, 4, 5,000 here. I don't think he's going to hit 1,000 cap. You never know with people that you don't know, but yeah, he's got 5,000 there. So this backstack that we have, we're just gonna pile that in there, and that's why we did that, just so we can quickly get a bunch of troops somewhere that we need it, instead of, you know, having to slide through everything. We end up holding this for a few turns. Yellow decides I do have a spot now. He realizes that, so that it is favorable to trade with me because we both have the whole right side locked. So he does make a really good play there. I think that's optimal. Red opens me back up. That's cool. We'll take a card here and see if he wants to trade with me here. I don't mind trading with red. I'm trying to make friends with him. I don't think I can take him out at this point. Blue comes and takes a peek around. Sees I have this cap. Red does not end up trading with me in here. Just puts a bunch of troops in there. I don't know what that was for. Are they just hiding it from blue or something? I decided that, you know, maybe I'll just not give yellow a card this turn, just for making me skip a couple turns. I see that he ends up peeling off this way a bunch, and then he ends up, you know, sending some this way. So it looks like he's either setting up a card block or someone's coming into him, and I'm assuming it's blue because they start emoting back and forth. So we can see like the +2, +5, whatever. So I'm wondering what happened. Obviously he bought it out. I think he just got tired. You know, there was a bunch of attacks before this, so I'm not sure if these two were at war and then he bought it out. So I'm thinking maybe there's a cap here, and we know there's a cap here, and we know there's a cap here. So I'm thinking maybe I have enough to take this guy out, this robot. This was a really bad pathing area. I should have went up here first, did this, and looked at this cap first. So I'm thinking this is all he has, and I can just come through this way if not. So I'm like, okay, he's got that. I come through, hit this cap, and we see this guy. Biggest mistake I made of the game. And then we stalemate for a while. I mean, this is for hours, by the way. This isn't like just a couple minutes. Blue does not end up killing red, who ends up being back here. He has a kill guard on red. We realize that because red's getting 5 troops every turn, and red does not have a cap. So we know that red doesn't have a cap. I've deleted this out of the video, but we know that this cap is controlled by yellow. These 2 caps are controlled by blue. It's just hours and hours and hours of trading cards, essentially. So we do eventually see that yellow comes through here with a really big stack, and he's got this stack, and he's got another stack over here. So he's really big, and blue still has not killed red. I'm not really sure why, because now yellow has come through here. And I think at this point, we go take a peek around. Blue realizes that he's probably dead, so he needs to get at least 1 kill. He doesn't have a whole lot here. He probably has about the same over here. So he does decide to take this kill finally. I'm not sure why he waited so long, but that's what he did. And then we see, okay, he's got this blocked over here. So we just move back, and then we go to blue's turn, and you'll see he does take the red kill. Probably didn't have enough. It's probably about the same, probably about 3,000 troops he has on both of these. Blue takes that kill. So I signal good game. We trade for a while. The game stalemates once again. I move off cap, and I decide I'm going to try and block blue and let yellow take him out of this pocket here. Yellow does not end up taking him out of this pocket here. Blue ends up moving all his stack over here. I'm thinking that's a decent play because now yellow will just take this and guard from there. He does not end up doing that. He ends up taking my cap, which is fine. I take blue out of this pocket so I know that he can be blocked. I move back over here and I threaten yellow that I'm going to take my cap back or his big cap. I don't care. We're at 5 hours in the game, so whatever. He says a couple times with that emoji. We end up giving blue a card. We did block him for a couple turns right before this, and then right after this we end up blocking him for a few turns. So I get my cap back and I end up with a better position than I had before. So I'm thinking, okay, it's a big brain play, whatever, because now I have a yellow here, I got yellow in here, and I still now have access this way. So I end up in a really good spot because I know that, you know, now for him to have this many troops here, probably I got a couple thousand here, so I could take this cap if I needed to. We do initiate a card block on blue here and here. This is successful for like 2 turns. Blue just kind of lets it happen. He tries to roll down the stack a little bit. He keeps piling troops in there, and then eventually he just moves everything right here. You think he puts, you know, 15k right there, 15k troops. I'm not gonna lose this 1,000 troops, so I just move it back. It's just, you know, it is what it is. We end up trading inside this bonus for a long time, and I think we both realize at this point that the only way this is going to work is if we block blue. So we signal back and forth with a couple, you know, like, you know, fist bumps or whatever. I'm totally okay with taking second. I got a bounty, you know, so that's fine with me. And I'm pretty sure yellow has the game at this point. I'm just gonna get blocked at some point unless I take another cap. What we'd end up doing is I take this spot, like, and he has this spot and this spot. Okay, like we discussed in the beginning of this video, that we could just let him take this whole side of the board and eventually he'll run out of cards. Eventually takes a long time. Even though there's not a whole lot of territories on this map, we spent hours, and blue finally ends up getting card blocked. He ends up with, you know, getting 40 troops a turn because he has this whole side, and he says good game. And then he attacks. I see that, and I know he's pouring troops into yellow, forcing him to take second place and take his kill because now he's lower in troops than me. I'm sure he poured 20,000 troops into him. So I'm gonna go take a look around regardless, whoever kills who. So I know that blue is probably much weaker, so I'll end up taking the kill on blue. I see that he's got 17,000 troops and he's gonna lose a bunch of them going this way, so that's game. He kills blue. well played. And then this is just clean up from here. So we take our set and then we just go walk around the board. We're about 6 hours in the game. I'm really tired. I make a bunch of little stupid pathing mistakes going this way. I'm just, you know, at this point, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't screw this up. You know, I've spent too much time on this, so I'm just okay, I'll just stop here. He says he's just gonna give it to me. I'm not gonna not defend a cap though, so I ran out of time and I just kind of stopped there. And we put a stack here. If he wants to roll that, fine, whatever. We're still gonna end up taking him out. We're just trying to make sure we get the kill. Obviously, pathing issue there again. We got the game, so I don't really care at this point. Yeah, we ended up with first place and 2 bounties, so 18 points. Really nice. These guys played really well. You know, I made mistakes and there were a couple other people who made a couple mistakes here, but it seemed like everybody was willing to go the distance there for a while. You know, we ended up just telling jokes inside the Discord because we got so bored. You know, 6 hours sitting down in a chair playing a game. You know, I know some people play these for 12, 15 hours at a time. That's not for me, man. That's, you know, 6 hours is like really tough, you know, to do on this stuff. And my hat's off to these guys. They played a really good game. So, all right, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on round 3.